It's a big day today, guys. I'm getting some new rollers installed on the roll-off truck. My truck is not new, the rollers are not new, and I just thought it was time for an upgrade for a couple different reasons. One, there were starting to be some burrs in some areas where even if I did and I was able to grease the rollers, they were having still a problem not rolling and scraping and making some noises. And so the functionality of it, first of all, was just the main thing, but also a few of my rollers didn't even have some of the Zerk fittings when I first got it. I tried to match multiple different Zerk fittings that I bought in different kits and packets and all sorts of stuff. I just decided, you know what, not only am I going to try to replace the Zerk fittings, but I want to make sure all of my rollers are good to go. So I went ahead and dropped about $1,000, a little bit more than that. Each of these rollers was about $100, depending on where you go. Obviously, distributors for Switch and Go, it was around $100 a piece. So I ended up going through and replacing all of these. Some of them were in still, honestly, pretty decent condition. More in the rear of the truck are more use, more wear and tear that you're going to see on a roller like this, opposed to the front rollers that really don't see a whole lot of action or maybe as much weight on the rollers as the rear ones. I use some channel locks to be able to hold the roller in place while I use the 19mm socket to pull these bolts out with the 1/2" ratchet as well as the 1/2" breaker bar. I'm sure there's other roller systems that use a different type of process or different way to secure the roller to the frame. It's my understanding that it's not the bolt that's holding all the weight and the pressure, it's the actual roller itself that goes on the inside of the frame that bears the weight. The bolt just holds the roller in place, and it doesn't have to be holding a certain amount of pressure. As long as that roller's in place inside and it's not loose, then it's going to be all right. Not all roll-off systems are created equal and designed the same way. So this type of roller could be different than many other different styles out there. So this could be different and look different, certainly, for other systems out there that you might have. This seems to be a very quick and easy way to be able to pull these rollers off, to replace them very simply, very easily. Just takes a little time to clean them up a little bit and to get them swapped out. I went ahead and used a wire brush to be able to clean out the inside of the frame for those rollers to kind of go into. On the rear, when I was taking out the last few, there did seem to be some rusting, some burrs and some things that were just not even. So I really wanted to clean that up as much as I can. There was definitely some grease inside there, and anytime there's some type of liquid that can get into a roller like that, like the grease from the outside where the roller you want the grease to be, if there's able to have any liquid get in there at all, then that probably means water can get in there as well as rust. So if there's going to be anything in there, I'd like it to be cleaned up. I don't want there to be burrs, and to have as much consistency as I can inside there for these rollers, so I don't have more and more problems down the road. You may have noticed on this system, maybe in past videos, that the middle roller, there's initially 5 rollers and then the rear yellow roller at the end. For the original setup this truck was made to be as a Switch and Go rail system, I extended it, so I added an additional roller in between the end and pushed the yellow roller in the rear further back to extend the rails all together to be able to do standard rail cans and not to be subject just to Switch and Go dumpsters. But with that, I added an additional roller that is not greasable from the company that did the welding job for me to lengthen the rails, having those extended. When I bought the truck itself, it did not have a roller in the middle. The 5 regular rollers, the middle one of the 5 on both sides, so the middle row basically, this system did not come with those rollers. And at the time, I didn't think a whole lot of it. I didn't really, frankly, know what I was doing, what I was getting into. However, when I started to actually use it and go, oh, there's supposed to be a roller there, and there is not. That is a problem. I initially thought, oh dear, is this thing gonna blow up? Are these rollers gonna fail? It's supposed to be, holding a part of the load. What is going on? Well, after using it more and more with the initial 10-yard cans that I had, and then eventually the 15s and 20s, I never saw an issue. I frankly didn't think it was that big of a deal. But up until now, just being completely transparent, I have not had that middle row of rollers on there until now. I bought 5 for each side, so a total of 10. And so moving forward, this is the first time actually having all rollers in place that could be there, as well as the added roller more towards the rear. My cans are not long enough to really rest on that roller anyways. And so since I did this job and I recorded this video, I have been testing and really watching the middle roller that has not been there this whole time. Did that make a difference? Did it change anything? I'm sure that there's absolutely a difference in the weight distribution. Obviously, adding in an additional row of rollers is going to lessen the amount of weight that each individual roller is actually supporting. And I can tell you, as far as visually or any sound or what the process of the dumpster being picked up and rolled up onto it or rolled off, it has made no visual difference at all. I'm not saying you should make a habit of going without. Frankly, I should have made at least the $200 investment years ago at this point, but you live and you learn. You finally get stuff done, get things in compliance, get things taken care of the way they could be, they should be. And so that's what I've done here. And with putting on all new rollers, not just adding in those 2 rollers for that 1 row, it's going to be a night and day difference between a old set of rollers and then adding in a new pair to go with that middle roller. I think ultimately getting all of the rollers replaced at the same time is going to be the best for the overall system, of course, just like they were all brand new to begin with originally. But ultimately, going forward, looking at the rear rollers getting more use and abuse in the future, I might not replace all of them at the same time. I might not need to. I would like to start with a clean, fresh start with all brand new rollers from right now. But in the future, maybe I don't have to replace all 5 of these. Maybe I just replace the last 2. Maybe seeing more wear and tear and abuse and those things going forward. I think having a good baseline for what it should be, what it should look like, is a great way to be able to spot problems when they do come up, when they do arise. Starting from brand new is always great to be able to do with a truck, with a system, with any type of trailer operation you have going on. But sometimes if you're not able to start brand new, then you're starting used, and you could run into these types of issues where you don't know what the baseline should be. You don't know what it's supposed to look like. You're only seeing what's directly in front of you right now, whether that's working properly or not for that specific system, whatever it would be on your type of equipment. So let me ask you, is there something on your equipment, on your truck, your trailer, or dumpsters for that matter, something that could be right, but it's still not? You've gotten by with it long enough. It hasn't caused enough problems, or maybe any problems yet, that would cause concern to, take it out of service. If the answer is yes, don't get me wrong, I get it. I understand sometimes there's not an extra $1,000, $5,000. Who knows, how much it could be, whatever it is for you. But start preparing for that. Hold back just a little bit of money. I understand sometimes you don't have the cash flow. Sometimes, in the slower season, it can be tough. But start thinking about it. Start planning for it. Preparing to make those changes, to make those upgrades, those repairs. That's half the battle right there. Setting yourself up for success down the road is going to be a huge thing. I want to be more intentional in my business, not just with equipment, not just with, physical items, but just everything in general, being more intentional in my business, preparing for things down the road. As I was working on this project and really debating whether I even show this on camera, I frankly have been embarrassed to show this whole process, to show this whole time I haven't had the middle roller, to show this truck is not new by any means. It's rusty. There's different things going on with it that, it's not going to last for forever. And maybe on some level, it's embarrassing for the world, for you to see my process, my situation that I'm in. But frankly, it's more embarrassing to me because I have to actually admit to myself and acknowledge that things aren't right. Things could be better, and you have done nothing about it, or you can't maybe yet. But things don't change oftentimes on a dime. You and I could beat ourselves up, but the truth is, it's just going to be a distraction away from what we're actually trying to accomplish. So I just want to encourage you, don't give up. Keep pushing forward. These small wins, they add up over time. You don't need to fix everything all at once. Take it step by step, and eventually you'll see the results. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. Thanks for rolling with me. God bless. Be relentless.